In this video, we will cover advanced chord progressions, editing and slicing loops, creating new chord progressions by editing, creating a split bar progression using 3 chords, combining grooves, rhythms, and specialty chord loops. The loops pack we are using for this tutorial is Piano Ballads Volume 1. You can download a free Easy Songwriter Song Construction Loops demo pack. The free Demo Loops pack contains all the necessary loops for you to follow along with these tutorials. Visit our website at piano-loops.com.
Hi, for this tutorial we will be using the full product. However, the concept shown can be applied to the free demo version as well. I'll open the EZS Piano Ballads folder, and next I'll open the Grooves folder. I'm going to be working with Groove 6, which is a shuffle. If you're following along with the free demo version, the same chords are available in Groove 3. Let's take a look at the chord progression for the intro. Okay, so I have the Groove 6 folder open, and I'll open the intro split bar progressions. For the first bar, I want a C to a G with a B bass, and I'll drag and drop that on my timeline. Before I go to the next chord, I'm going to insert a marker so we know this is the intro. The next chord will be an F for 1 bar. To grab that, I'll go to the intro 2-bar progressions. These progressions have 2 chords that play 1 bar each. I can grab any progression that starts with an F since all I need is an F for 1 bar. I'll grab F to C and drop that on my timeline. And then I'll trim the end and I'll just be left with the F chord. And I'll slide that behind the C to G progression. I want this same progression for the next 2 bars, so I'll select both loops and duplicate them. That completes the intro, and now I'll add a marker for the verse. I want this verse to maintain a lighter feel, so I'm also going to use the intro loops for the verse. Let's take a look at the chord progression for the next section. For the first bar, I need a G, so I'll go into the 2-bar intro loops. Again, I can grab any progression that starts with G. I'll grab G to F. I'll drag that into my timeline, and again, I'll trim off the back half so I'm only left with the G chord. For the next progression, I need an E minor 7 to an F, and I need that in the split bar. So I'll go back to the split bar intro loops, and I find that I have an F major 7 to an E minor 7 change. I'll drag that in, and what I'm going to do on this one is trim the first half, and that leaves me with the E minor 7 chord. And now I'll go back and I'll find a loop that starts with an F chord. I'll grab this F to C with an E bass. I'll trim the back half, removing the C chord. And now I have a half a bar of E minor 7 and a half bar of F. Next, I need C major for 2 bars, so I'll go back to the 2-bar progressions and grab a bar of C. I'll drag in C to A minor and then trim the back end to remove the A minor chord. I'll pop that in place on the timeline and then duplicate it for 2 bars of C. There we go. Now these 4 bars of the verse repeat, so I'll select them and duplicate it. And that completes an 8-bar section of verse. Next, I'll add a marker for the pre-chorus. I want this pre-chorus to be a little stronger, so what I'm going to do is use loops from Feel 1. The loops from Feel 1 are played in a lower register and are a little stronger in attack. This will help build dynamics in the song. Let's take a look at the chord progression for the next section. The first chord will be 1 bar of G. I'll go to Feel 1 2-bar progressions, and I can grab any chord with a G. I'll grab a G to C and drag that in. I'll move that into place and trim the second bar to remove the C chord. The next chord is a split bar C to an F. I'll open the Feel 1 split bar loops folder. And grab the C to F progression and drag that in. The next progression is a split bar and a little trickier. The progression is from a G to a G suspended 4th. So I'll go to the Feel 1 split bar loops folder and I can grab any chord starting with a G. I'll grab G to C and drag that in. I'll trim the back half to remove the C chord, and I'm left with half a bar of G. For the next half of the bar, I need a G suspended 4 chord. The split bar loops don't contain a G suspended 4th in any of the progressions. But no problem, since we know this is a shuffle rhythm, I can grab a G sus4 chord from the rhythm chords in the shuffle feel. I'll open the rhythm chords folder, and inside the rhythm chords folder, I'll find the folder for 8th note shuffle rhythm. I'll open that, and I'll grab the loop for G sus4 8th note shuffle rhythm. I'll pop that into my timeline and I'll trim it down to a half a bar. I'll insert my cursor and cut in half. I could also trim it in half. I'm just showing you that you could do it either way. Now notice we have a slight problem. The two bass notes in this loop sustain for the entire bar. The fix is easy. We select these two notes and we trim them down to half a bar. The progression for the next bar will be a little more challenging. It's a split bar progression using 3 chords. The first chord will play for a half bar. The following 2 chords will play for 1/4 bar each. The progression is G major to A minor 7 to G with a B bass. We had a half bar of G major in the previous bar, so for that we can copy it and paste it for the first half of this new bar. Let's take a quick look inside the Grooves folder at the Feel 1 split bar progression. You'll note that there is not an A minor 7 in the progressions, only an A minor. To get our next chord, the A minor 7, we'll need to go to the rhythm chords. And again, we can grab from the 8th note shuffle rhythms. This is a 1-bar loop and we need to trim it down to a 1/4 bar. I need to reset my grid value so that I have 1/4 note markers on the grid. I'll find the first 1/4 note mark and I'll cut. As before, I have bass notes that extend for the full bar, so I need to select those and trim those down to 1/4 bar. The next chord I need is a G with a B bass. So I'll navigate back to the Grooves folder and I'll find the Feel 1 split bar loops, which contains a G with a B bass. I'll grab the C to the G with a B bass progression. I'll drag that in and then cut away the front half to remove the C chord. I'll move this into place. This is still a half bar of G, so I'll need to cut it in half to remove a 1/4 bar. And there you go. That's how you make a 1-bar, 3-chord split bar loop. Let's take a listen. And let's hear that sus4. Perfect. And now it's time to create a chorus section. I'll just pop in a marker real quick for the chorus. Let's take a look at the chord progression for the next section. For the chorus section, I'm going to return to the grooves. I want the chorus to be the strongest section of my song. And within the grooves, of the 3 feels available, Feel 2 is the strongest. It uses a double note bass. The chorus is going to start with a split bar, so I need Feel 2 split bar loops. The first progression is C to G with a B bass. So I'll select that, drag and drop it in, and position it on the timeline. And disregard these duplicate loops you keep seeing. I must have hit a shortcut at some point. So you keep seeing me delete those. Those aren't part of the tutorial. Okay, now we need F major for 1 bar. I'll grab from Feel 2, 2-bar progressions. I can grab any loop with an F. I'll grab F to C major. I'll drag that in. I'll move this in place and then I'm going to slice it in half. Now in the back half, C major, I'm going to save that chord because I need it later in the progression. So what I'll do is I'll drag it down to another track and tuck it out of the way until I need it later. The next 2 bars of the chorus will be exactly the same. So what I'll do here is select these first 2 bars and duplicate them. Bar 5 is exactly the same as bar 1 or bar 3, so I can select one of those and duplicate it. Bar 6 will be A minor to a D minor 7 progression. To build that, we'll go to the Feel 2 split bar loops. I'll need to create this progression by cutting 2 pairs of loops. I can grab any one of these loops that contains an A minor. I'll grab A minor to F. I'll move that in place and cut away the back half. I'll go back and grab a D minor 7 loop, D minor 7 to C major. I'll drag that into place and cut away the back half to remove the C major chord. And now I need an F to a G progression. I'll grab that and drag it in. The last bar and loop of the progression is 1 bar of C major, and if you recall, I saved a 1 bar C major chord loop on an extra track. And I'll scrub over here, find my bar of C major, and I'll drag that loop to the end of my progression. And that completes the chorus. Now we'll add an ending. I'll insert a marker. And to create the ending, I'm going to use the specialty chords. I could also use grooves or rhythm chords to create an ending, but the specialty chords have some already created endings that have some nice feels. I'll go back to the EZS folder and open the specialty chords folder. As you see, we have endings, retard endings. We could also use sustained chords. I'm going to go with the endings folder. As you can see, I have a lot of ending types to choose from. I'm going to select a C7th rolled ending. It's a related chord, but it wasn't used in the song. Therefore, it should make the ending stand out a little more. And that completes the song. Let's give this a listen. So by cutting and slicing loops, you really can create any progression you need. Whether the progression is in the grooves or not, you can grab rhythm or specialty chords, and it's very easy to create.
The loops pack we are using for this tutorial is Piano Ballads Volume 1. You can download a free Easy Songwriter Song Construction Loops demo pack. The free demo loops pack contains all the necessary loops for you to follow along with these tutorials. Visit our website at piano-loops.com.